Macca, it was always going to be tough against a good Totton side, 2-1 in the end. Your initial thoughts, please?
I'm super proud of the boys. Like the way that we played second half, that was much more like us, on the front foot, aggressive with our play, creative, good tempo, toe to toe with the opponent. You know, you look at the experience and the age of their team and the physicality of them. And you know, we were the best side out there in that second half, and they really struggled to get any kind of rhythm, any kind of momentum. Just tried to disrupt us the whole of the second half, and you know, after 5 minutes of that second half, they're delaying. They're trying to play out for a 2-0 and take time out of the game. And you know, that's a mini compliment in my eyes. The way they set up second half and saw early doors that they were going to get very little out of that second half in terms of ball and opportunities to score. So we have to look at that second half and go, do you know what? That's us. That's how we can play against anybody. One of the biggest, you know, most dangerous teams in this league, and we've outclassed them, we've outfought them, we've outplayed them, outfought them in terms of every aspect of that second half. But we find ourselves in that position, and it's our fault. You know, starting the game 90 seconds in, we don't deal with a corner, and then later on in the first half again, we don't deal with the corner properly. Harry makes a great save, and we're nowhere near the second ball. And as soon as we conceded that goal, we could see that the boys were, you know, heads down, and we can't feel sorry for ourselves. In that moment, we cannot feel sorry for ourselves. We have to go, do you know what, we're 2-0 down because of our actions on the pitch and our decisions and our choices, whether to or to not make contact or want that ball to come to us and head the ball away. First and foremost, don't concede corners, or don't concede set pieces where teams can put the ball in the box. Or if we are going to, then have the aggression, have the confidence and the mindset, ball's coming to me, I'm going to head it away. Or if I'm marking, I'm going to make sure my man doesn't get a clean run on this, doesn't get a clean header. If he's going to make contact with the ball, he's stretching for it, and I'm right there, putting him off. And also, I'm reading play, so if there's a second ball, I'm clearing it. So, on reflection of the game, we deserve to be 2-0 down because we didn't do some fundamentals. But the reaction from rallying around the group after we conceded that second goal, I felt that from that moment we were the most positive side, and they changed the way they played, and they had to change the way they played because they had very little in terms of control of the game from that point. Obviously the scoreline was a big influence on that, but the way the boys rallied around and some of the attacking play was fantastic in the second half, and we were missing that in the first. You know, we were getting into good areas, not putting the ball in, getting to good areas, not putting the trigger to shoot, and that's been one of our criticisms within the dressing room throughout the season. You know, not putting the ball in the right areas often enough, not shooting often enough, and at some point we have to make that change, and you know, we've just had a discussion in the change in there, and we know what we've got to do, and it's now about having that belief that we can be as good as we were in that second half against anybody, in any conditions, at any moment. But yeah, it was a tough one to take, but I'm sick and tired of saying that.
Yeah, I'm sick and tired of asking you the question saying we played well but didn't win. I mean, it's 10 games in now, we're still without a win. We've got points on the board through draws, but for you, for the players, you said you had a discussion, but how is morale? I know we play some big teams, but we are where we are at the moment.
Yeah, I just think that sometimes when we start games, we don't always have that inner belief, but we have to look back at performances and moments in the game which we can take that belief, and I feel second half today, especially moving into the game Saturday, we have to start games with that. You know, with that belief, we're a good side. I felt the two lads coming in, making the debuts today, had added real value to the group, gave us something a little bit different energy, different physicality, and you know, Frankie's getting an assist on his debut, he's fantastic, and I felt Jack, once he settled into the game, was very, very capable. So it's great to be able to bring the players in, because obviously we have lost one or two in recent weeks, so to be able to bring players of that quality to bring in and strengthen the group, that can only be helpful for us moving forward into the next kind of Saturday, Tuesday.
Is it, I mean, you look at the injury list and Mikey Williams not available tonight, Matt Wright, Ryan Brett, 3 big hitters for us, Carlo gone off at half time. Another concern?
I think it just shows that there's a lot of commitment. You know, people putting their bodies on the line a little bit more, which we weren't potentially doing at the start of the season. We were kind of like coasting through games and not making tackles and big parts of the game. And we've changed, we've evolved in that sense. And they are big misses because they're good voices on the pitch, their experience, and they can help move people into positions to be more effective. But also it shows that we can play a different way when we haven't got those players playing in a certain style and having a bit of a target man down the middle with 3 kind of quick lads, direct lads with skills to get beyond their man and threaten the back line a bit more. We've got adaptability, which is fantastic to have, because some games you might need to change things. So yes, it's not ideal having them out and unavailable. However, they're not really serious injuries, so looking a bit further down the line at Saturday, Tuesday, it's going to test the squad, but I feel as though the group that we've got is really starting to come together, and like I say, as long as we continue to take the positives from performances like this in the second half and start games with real belief, we'll turn things around, no problem.
One positive for me, I think, a big point last season was the pitch. We all know the problems. We've had rain this week, we had a lot of rain. Pitch was immaculate tonight.
Absolutely, testament to the club making that decision to invest some money this summer in resurfacing. Obviously it helps not having other teams playing on it quite so much, and testament to it was fantastic. Yes, it was slightly wet around the outside of the pitch, but the surface itself was really good, and I think it really complemented the way we play. And if we're going to play this style of football, we need to have a decent pitch, and I've got full confidence in the ground staff of making sure that the pitch is in good condition for us throughout the season. So yeah, brilliant work with them and that.
We now go back on the road. Our last game on the road was Sittingbourne. Replicate that in the league at Chertsey in what will be a big game.
Yeah, like I said, every game is a big game. Every game we play, the next game is huge, because it's the next one coming, and it's one where we want to regain that momentum. Like I said, we've got Saturday, Tuesday for a couple of weeks now, so we need to get that win on the board and get that ball rolling, get that momentum rolling, and start to build on that belief, turning that belief into confidence. I can't let you kind of leave me without kind of touching upon the game and the officiating today.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not something we like to discuss, but it was one of the toughest games that we've ever had to be part of, and testament to our players in terms of the way that they just got on with the job. Some interesting things that happened through the game, and with all due respect, there was some dangerous challenges on that pitch. Some players' safety was not paramount within that game, and I was worried for our players. But the way that they dealt with that challenge, that additional challenge on top of what they had to contend with, of being 2 goals behind and a really physical, experienced side playing against that, I felt they applied themselves fantastically well, and I'm really proud of the boys in terms of how they didn't cause themselves any further problems in that regard. But if that's the level of officiating, we are going to be disappointed. I think as a collective, speaking to some of their players and their managers after the game, we've never come across that kind of level before, and it's disappointing, because the game deserved a lot more.
Does it mean that much more to you when challenges, especially I know the one you're talking about, which arguably could have been a red, does it mean more to you with the position we're in and how we're fighting at the moment?
I think so. I think that we're all passionate. Myself and Lee, we're really passionate, and obviously you hear Duds a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
And yes, when we're down the bottom and where we don't feel we should be, it's very frustrating, and you just look for those little bits of help, not help in terms of giving us decisions that aren't correct, but just giving us that respect and that help and support of just doing what's right. And there was a lot of things tonight that caused us to get very frustrated and angry, and yeah, that was a tough one to take from that perspective. But like I say, testament to the boys, the way they dealt with it the second half. There was a lot of time wasting, a lot of dark arts throughout the game, and like I say, that challenge is an absolute leg breaker. And I think any other moment this season, I think it is a red card, and obviously it's a big moment in the game. But the way that our boys fought and gave a true account of ourselves in the second half, I'm hoping that the fans could see the difference in the group and the inner belief growing, and that's what we need to take forward from this is that belief. It has to grow, it has to melt through the group and give them that belief to start games in that fashion, rather than chasing our tail once the mountain is 2, 3 or even just a goal behind. It's tough, so we have to start games a little bit more on the front foot and have belief, and and give ourselves a real chance of putting a proper run together.
I do want to finish on the negativity of the officials tonight. I want to finish on a positive note, and it just, by talking to you now, it just seems like you do have so much confidence in this team.
Oh, absolutely. Like the way that they've taken on board what we're asking to do, the way they're able to implement it, the way they're able to adapt and change the way they want to play. But like you say, take some players out, and the group is still strong, and to be able to bring players off the bench to help us in different areas. And the young lads are doing fantastically well. You know, I feel sorry for them that they're not getting potentially the minutes that they need to continue to develop. But for me, I mean, it just wasn't safe to bring on some of those young lads in that game today. But also, like I've got, me and Lee were saying in there to the group, we are 100% behind that group. We fully believe in what we're doing. We fully believe in what they're doing, and we fully believe that with a little bit more confidence, a bit more self-belief, which is coming, we'll go on a run. We'll cause some problems, and you know, it's not the first time an opposition manager has come to me and said that you're the biggest challenge. You're the biggest challenge that we've come across this year, and it is such a horrible compliment. Yeah. But we have to take those comments and go, do you know what? It's not us that just thinks this. Yeah. It's everybody that we come across thinks it. So we know we're going in the right direction. I mean, I know the chips will fall in our favour at some point, and we'll go on a run, and the momentum, and we won't look back.
Thanks for your time, Macca.
No problem. Thank you.